CMR North is here with Josephine DesLauriers. She is the VP of People at WeedMD's. So Josephine, tell us a little bit about yourself.
As you said, I'm the VP of People for WeedMD, and I've been with the organization since January of this year, overseeing the people strategy for the company.
Awesome. And Josephine, tell us a little bit about your background.
I have been in HR for over 15 years, in an executive role for over 10, predominantly in the healthcare space, and with medicinal cannabis now, as I said, within the last year, with a very specific focus on HR planning and executing on the growth strategies for companies like WeedMD.
And here, something our viewers love to know is why you got into cannabis and what is your cannabis story?
So I actually fell into cannabis. The founder of WeedMD was someone that I had worked with in the past. And his passion for the senior strategy and bringing cannabis into the senior strategy was something that resonated with me. Again, the medicinal focus of cannabis and making that difference for people, increasing people's quality of life, again, something that I'm very passionate about. And then now it's just the excitement of the ride and the industry at large, just the expansion and the challenges and just the need for very strong talent.
And like you said, you're very passionate about being in this industry, which is great to hear. And we know that there's a little bit of taboo here in the cannabis industry, and we're trying to fight that stigma. What would your opinion be on that?
I think it's changing. I would agree. I mean, there is still stigma as it relates to barriers to entry. Even more so now, I think in some areas, as media has been talking about cross-border travel and different things like that. Historically, it was stigma as it related to cannabis as a product and the illegal element to it and those types of things. But it's all evolving. And what I would also tell people is, if you want to be in a space where it's fresh and it's new and it's exciting, you're part of the end of prohibition. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Cannabis is the place to be.
Also, I know that you kind of mentioned you fell into the cannabis industry, but did you have any mentors along the way?
Yeah, I mean, again, going back to looking at cannabis as a space where, particularly the medical side, looking to make that difference in the lives of our patients and our clients. The founder is obviously someone I'm, very close with as an individual, and then our current CEO as well. And I'd say, really looking at within the cannabis space and the mentorship and those types of things, it's those early adopters, the people who we're evolutionary in making the statement and the change that's happening now. I think all of those people kind of guided my desire to stay in the industry.
That's great to hear. And what would your advice be to anybody trying to get into the cannabis industry?
I mean, I think at this point in time, the cannabis industry is such a broad term. So really, whatever your passion is, there will be some form of trade or skill or transferable element into this space. Historically, cannabis has been very much about agriculture, but that's evolving and changing. The auxiliary businesses that are at play, anything from HR to PR to payroll to marketing to finance to horticulture to R&D. I mean, all of these professions are actually in this industry right now as it evolves.
So I know that when you first introduced yourself to me, you said you were the VP of People, and usually it would be the VP of Human Resources. So this speaks volumes about your human resources. So educate us on that and tell us a little more about how you guys are doing your human resources differently.
So we have been very conscious in choosing that title. Human resources is a fairly historical term. I mean, it evolved from personnel, which was, way back when. That focus on people is really around being a people-centric organization. So really looking at the fact that, happy people, happy plants, happy culture, that people touch every element of the company and just being very conscious in that. So, there's different terms for your human capital within the organization, your talent within the organization, but just really at the most basic level, it is, people working with people and having that in my title actually makes it very conscious and forefront.
Awesome. I love that idea. There is a lot of thought through it. And where would you say WeedMD is in the next 5 years?
Oh, 5 years, that seems so far away. I mean, cannabis is evolving at such a very, very fast pace. Our CEO often says 1 month is 1 year in this space. So, we're destined to, we have one of the largest, production platforms. We're one of the employers of choice within sort of the local region. And hopefully, and very much so within the space. We're evolving and taking all that we had from a sort of secret sauce, passion capital in our founding location in Elmer and growing it here in Strathroy. And then, going into international markets and all of those different things. So, the evolution is endless.
And you speak so passionately about WeedMD. What would you say what differs from WeedMD through the other licensed producers? Clearly our people. And I say that because, again, it's in our organization, I'm wearing the t-shirt. So in our organization, one of the things that always rings true to the people who come and visit us is there is no hierarchy. There is no feeling of, different levels within the organization. Ultimately, we're all people within the organization. We have an inverted pyramid mindset. So everything from seed to sale, it's a fully integrated model. And I think that differentiates us because everything from members of our quality team to our production team to our finance team, we're all part of that purpose of the organization, and I think that really makes a difference. That's great. And what would you say the challenges are right now at WeedMD?
Well, there's lots of challenges within the industry at large, and so they're not unique to WeedMD. Talent at varying levels, I think, is very hard to come by, and then I think the pace in which we're growing. So just to give context, in January we had 40 employees. We already have about 120 employees.
Wow.
So the pace of growth is quite fast. And we're constantly pivoting, and then as we're evolving with legalization and all those other elements, to be able to adjust and pivot for the regulations and that. So those would be challenges that many people within the space are dealing with.
And how are you guys fighting those challenges in a unique manner?
I think, again, it comes down to the culture of the organization. Our leadership team, and as we fill positions within that leadership team, we're very conscious about ensuring they understand not just the quality of our people, but the quality of our culture. So it's very much in the forefront of ensuring that you're not just someone coming with bench strength or talent that's transferable from another space, that you fit, and that you fit at every level.
It's great. It was a pleasure speaking with you today, Josephine. And you can catch WeedMD on all their social media platforms. And it was great speaking with you.
Thank you.